Good afternoon, welcome to Interesting Talks with Footprints Counselling Service. My name is Yinka Bakari. Welcome to our talk today. It's on setting strong boundaries. Do like, share, leave comments. I'm always happy to see what people think. We're all on a learning path for life. There is no wrong or right boundaries to have. It's down to your personal choices. But it's a good thing to take time out to explain to those in your life what they can be expected to expect from you if they cross your boundaries. Do you keep adjusting your boundaries to fit each relationship? If so, it's time to reassess what boundaries mean to you. They are about your relationship with yourself and your own values, after all, so they shouldn't be fluid. If you have trouble setting and sticking to healthy boundaries, these 6 tips should help you. Now, number 1, the sad truth is no boundaries equal little self-esteem. Many people don't know what their boundaries are, when in fact they should roll off of your tongue like the alphabet. The first step is to admitting that lack of boundaries stem from a lack of self-esteem. After all, what's the point trying to say you want to grow if you're not going to be honest with yourself about where you are right now? 2, decide what your core values are. Who are you? What do you value? Once you get clear on what matters most to you, then you can take the bigger step of communicating this to other people. Instead of creating boundaries around a difficult relationship in your life, you must make your boundaries about you. For example, I set boundaries around my phone time to honour the fact that I tend to get overstimulated by tech. The boundary is to decrease my stress level and not about avoiding others, phone calls, or distancing myself from loved ones. Especially this applies at night time. 3, you can't change others, so change yourself. Gosh, we all want to change others, don't we, right? I mean, that's a part of being human, part of the human experience. We get into arguments with spouses, hoping and wishing, demanding, even that they stop being difficult, even though we might be the ones being difficult. We get mad when our mum might call us 5 times a day. You want your co-worker, that one that is, so negative, to treat you with more respect. The list is endless. It goes on and on. We all want to change people, but really, the only people we can change is ourselves. We cannot change others. We are responsible for what comes out of their mouth? No, we're not. Their daily choices? No, we're not. Their reactions? No. The bottom line, since you can't change other people, change how you deal with them. 4, decide the consequences ahead of time. So what do we do once somebody inevitably tries to push our boundaries? Decide what consequences are. There's a best way to figure out your own boundaries and consequences when people cross them is by sitting down quietly by yourself and making this all about you. Remember, boundaries are about honouring your needs, not about judging other people. Other people's choices are their choices. So write down what you decide on a piece of paper so you got it somewhere. 5, let your behaviour, not your words, speak for you. Present your boundaries clearly to people and then let your behaviour do the talking. People will test and push and disrespect your limits. You know you're getting healthier when this doesn't get an emotional reaction out of you. When your boundaries are your core beliefs, you will not get riled up if you're tested, because they're your core beliefs. It's who you are. 6, say what you mean and mean what you say. The biggest part of boundaries is how clearly you communicate them. You can have the most healthy set of boundaries on the planet, but if you do not communicate them clearly, you're going to create some really confusing relationships, both for you and everyone else involved. One way to quickly get someone to question your character or your authenticity is to say one thing and do something else. Sometimes we're afraid to confront others with the truth in love or in relationships. We're afraid to tell people what we really want to admit that we hate going to certain restaurants, or we have trouble spending time with friends, toxic cousin, or hate it when the boss dumps deadlines on your desk at 6 p.m. on a Friday evening. We conceal our true feelings because we're scared of people's reactions. The more you go around your boundaries and values, the more you'll be able to clearly see it in communication. Thank you for listening. I hope that you found this talk useful. Do like and share with friends and family. The more you practice this, the better you get. So until next week, take care of yourself, stay positive, and have a look out on your boundaries. Are they really in place? Take care. Bye for now.